Good day. I am Peter Rony and I live in Blacksburg, Virginia. Today is Friday, October 9th, 2015. The title of this YouTube video is Shareholder Oppression by the Three Masterminds. I will convey to you several different topics. I will explain where the word mastermind came from. I will also steer you to a YouTube of mine that shows you how to download any YouTube video to your computer. I also will show you a series of screen captures from the May 1980 Bill of Complaint filed against the Three Masterminds. A synonym of Bill of Complaint is lawsuit. I hope you find this video to be interesting. It's certainly a case study in a legal situation involving a closely held corporation, which was Nanotran. I also will convey some conclusions about the behavior of the three masterminds. Okay, enough for this slide. I think I've spent enough time on it so that it will become a thumbnail. In a previous YouTube video, which I finished earlier this morning, October 9th, I discussed 11 legal remedies for the three masterminds, assuming that my lawsuit would go to trial. The URL for this video is given in blue at the bottom. Let me give you some conclusions from that video. I have two slides. The question for both of them is, among the three masterminds, who was financially vulnerable in May 1980? This is the month when they received the lawsuit Bill of Complaint. Well, there were three masterminds. One of them, whom I've called the Lord of the Masterminds, was slightly vulnerable because he had a full annual salary from Virginia Tech. And only remedy numbers 10 and 11 required his out-of-pocket expense. So they had some impact upon him. In contrast, let us consider the two remaining masterminds. They were completely vulnerable because the entire Bill of Complaint applied to them. All three masterminds received a letter from my lawyer. It was nicely written, non-threatening legal letter from John Rockovich, who just simply stated in two sentences that I wanted to withdraw from two companies, Nanotran and Tycon. Well, I have no idea what 25 years later why let's see, 1980 to 35 years later, why they engaged in their tactics after they received this letter. In hindsight, the Titus brothers' tactics, assuming they voted for all of them, they were reckless and stupid. And in fact, these tactics, which I will now cover in this video, led directly to my May 1980 lawsuit against them. I don't know which of the masterminds came up with the tactics, but they all approved them, so they were all equally vulnerable. Well, I'm using the word mastermind, and you can ask, where did it come from? Well, it came from a internet article which I read during summer 2015. I don't recall if this phrase was used in 2009. And the reason why I don't recall is because I believe this article is updated between then and now. But anyway, here is the phrase, the mastermind group. All right, I had one word that characterized three individuals, and I think it's a wonderful word to it's a substitute for naming Titus, Larsen, and Titus. So I'm using it repeatedly. Well, I'm going to provide you with a group of, I don't know, maybe 10 or so screen captures from the bill of complaint. And how can you independently obtain access to the original document? Well, you can do so. You go to this 2009 website, and you can identify the tab that has the bill of complaint PDF file, and you download it, and you then can read the PDF file using PDF readers such as Acrobat Reader. The PDF bill of complaint isn't long, 10 pages. In this video, focus on items 1 through 21, and the 11 requests for remedies have already been discussed in another video. Well, the font size of my screen captures in this video are too small. So I encourage you to download this video to your computer, and in the video whose URL I show at the bottom, I tell you how to do so. And if you succeed in downloading this video, then you can view it at your leisure. You can pause, you can go backward, you can go forward. So I strongly recommend that you learn how to do this. Well, the entire legal matter started modestly in March 12, 1979. By a letter from my outstanding lawyer John G. Rockovich, whose law firm was based in Roanoke, Virginia. This is a classy letter, non-threatening, only 2 sentences and a simple request. I'd like to withdraw as a shareholder of Nanotran and Tycon. Okay, so that's the letter. And this simple letter actually led to a series of events, tactics instituted directly by Larsen, Titus, and Titus that led to my lawsuit in May 1980. So let me continue. All right, there are a group of items, and here is item 20. This is a criticism of the behavior of the defendants, who were the 3 masterminds. They illegally, oppressively, and fraudulently acted in connection with their control of Nanotran and Tycon, and they misapplied and wasted corporate assets. And all these tactics were aimed at me. And to the best of my knowledge, they all occurred after the withdrawal letter of March 12, 1979. So let me cite in separate slides the following acts by the defendants, who are the 3 masterminds. Okay, A. They excessively raised the salaries of Titus and Titus. And this salary raise was not recorded in any board of directors meetings. B. Well, at the time of such increase, the corporations were having severe cash flow. Actually, the corporation that received money was Nanotran and not Tycon. So, given such a situation, why the increase in salaries? Well, I was one of the 4 original members of the Blacksburg group. Well, after the withdrawal letter, they quickly and unilaterally eliminated my name. So the only remaining names of the group were the 3 masterminds. Well, here is sort of something that on the face of it is wrong. Nanotran paid salaries to Jon Titus and Chris Titus. What did Chris Titus do for his salary? He wrote books. What did Jon Titus do? Actually, he co-authored a book, but he did not design any new, improved microcomputer trainer after March 1979. So both of them were book writers. If they were employed to do so, why did they also receive royalties? Okay, they moved to a large residence in Christiansburg, Virginia, and they incurred an expense of $650 per month for that residence. I don't think they owned it, they just leased it. And if they were having cash flow problems, why did they commit $650 per month? Well, they had a responsibility to pay me royalties, and to pay me royalties on the MMD1 hardware that E&L Instruments in Connecticut sold since December 1978. And what did they do with the money? Well, they didn't pay me my share, and they used the money to pay Jon and Chris Titus excessive salaries. And in February 21, 1979, note that this was before March 12, 1979, they formed. Actually, it's not they, it was they plus me formed a new corporation. At the time, and 35 years later, today, 2015, I do not recall why we formed the corporation. I don't think it received any money, royalties, or anything, so basically it was unnecessary. So they hired the Lord of the Masterminds as a consultant on September 24th, and during the directors' meeting voted to divide royalties from several books among the three of them. I received no percentage. Okay, this is the important corporation, the Blacksburg Group Incorporated. Well, this was a trade name used by Nanotran to identify actually myself, Jon Titus, Larsen, and Chris Titus. So we used this trade name before March 12, 1979. And I was, a co-owner of the trade name. So now they created a new corporation. They stole the trade name and used it for themselves. Oh, this was funny, or pathetic. They held a shareholders meeting after March 12, 1979, and they recommended that they sell the assets of Nanotran and Tycon to themselves in the form of the Blacksburg Group, which would be in the same business of that of Nanotran and Tycon. So this was a diversion of corporate assets of the two companies for their own personal gain, their private and selfish purposes. Now again, this was done after March 12, 1979, and this was an important tactic that they had to get around my legitimate request for a share of the assets of Nanotran and Tycon. Okay, and here is another diversion of corporate assets. They had some money, and they voted to pay their new corporation a fee of $16,500 for the first year. So here, some of the money held by Nanotran, they decided to pay their new group, which consisted only of the three masterminds. I think you're beginning to get the picture of the tactics that they are using, and the stupid and reckless behavior of Jon and Chris Titus to go along with these tactics was a big mistake. And these tactics led directly to my lawsuit. Okay, here is another diversion of corporate assets. There was no agreement for Tycon. There was an agreement to create Nanotran, and here they were shuffling $12,400 as a severance payment. Isn't all this incredible? So this was, all these tactics were an oppression of a minority stockholder. I was the minority stockholder, and these three masterminds ran roughshod over my legitimate rights as a shareholder. It is October 2015, and I have not read these tactics since 2009 at the earliest, or since May 19, well, at the latest, or May 1980. Here in 2015, they sound and read awful.